Perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Kayla Gutierrez, and I'm the intern at Princeton Integrative Health. I'm here with Dr. Vinny today. Dr. Vinny is the co-founder and medical director of Princeton Integrative Health. Dr. Vinny has distinguished careers in emergency medicine and family medicine spanning over 32 years. But despite following the advice of conventional medicine, he suffered from an episode of unstable angina, a life-threatening condition while he was out for a run. This led him on a quest with the help of his daughter Jenna that led to the discovery of functional and integrative medicine and the creation of Princeton Integrative Health in 2016. His life's mission is now to help others benefit from his health challenges and from what he has learned on his journey so that they don't have to suffer what too many suffer: premature disease, disability, and death. His goal is to help everyone have healthy longevity so that they can have an impact in this world and reach their life and legacy goals. So with that in mind, as part of our What If series, today's session is on what if you could improve your focus and mental sharpness through functional medicine. So my first question to Dr. Vinny is, you're seeing so many patients every day. What are some common sources of decreased mental focus that you're seeing?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for that introduction, Kayla. So decreased sources come from many different avenues. For some, it's their diet. Their diet is not supportive of great mental function. Usually those are diets that are high, kind of the standard American diet, high in sugars and carbs, saturated fats. That is not good for mental focus at all. So many times when people are younger, they can have enough resilience that they can get by with that. But as the years tick by, it takes more and more of a toll. And I see many people who have that trouble. That gets so bad in the years when people are prone to dementia that we have to absolutely get them off of those kind of diets and onto a more ketone-friendly diet, if you will. Soft keto, we call it, because ketones are much better brain fuel. So if you want to increase your mental sharpness, maybe you don't have to go completely keto, but certainly decreasing your sugars and carbs can be very helpful for people. Some people have decreased mental sharpness because of illnesses that they've suffered. A lot of people who have long haul COVID symptoms, one of the symptoms they complain of is brain fog. So it could be something like that. Other illnesses, diabetes can lead to, decreased mental focus. Of course, that's related to sugar and carbs. That disease is related to sugar and carbs, and so that you would almost expect it there. Things like Lyme disease for some people cause brain fog. So it could be many different things. But one of the first steps, whatever the cause is, again, going back to those foundations, eat a better diet.
Right. And so in particular with the diet, you mentioned a soft ketogenic diet for those who are at risk of developing Alzheimer's or dementia. How about for the general population? What are some foods or qualities that we should be looking to incorporate in our diets?
Yeah, so we should be eating lots of vegetables. It's recommended to eat like nine servings of fruits or vegetables a day. I don't know that many people that are reaching that goal, but certainly that can be very helpful. That helps control the blood sugar. A lot of phytonutrients, which are great for brain health. And again, getting the carbs and sugars out. Whether you want to do a Mediterranean diet, not American Mediterranean with a lot of pasta and Italian bread, but fresh fish and local harvest and keeping the carbs down. The pasta is the side dish, if you will, rather than the main course. And yeah, as I said, I think people in Italy, I think they go to the stores every day to get the local fresh food that, so they can make the freshest food available. So that would be great advice for all of us.
Yeah. I was actually reading that as we age, the effects of oxidative stress kind of compound, and oxidative stress is the body's inability to detox from harmful end products of metabolism. And our brain is actually the primary user of oxygen because it has a lot of metabolic activity. So antioxidants in like fruits and vegetables like blueberries, leafy greens is really a great way to boost your brain health. So my next question is, you kind of touched on this a little bit with the diet, but what have you found to be the most impactful way to increase mental sharpness?
Um, so we talked about the diet, again, that whatever kind of diet you choose, whether it's keto, whether it's Mediterranean, whether it's plant-based whole food, certainly keeping sugars down to a minimum, carbs down to a minimum. Certainly getting processed carbs out of the diet is great. A lot of our, processed wheat is delicious, but in Italian bread and everything. But keeping that out of the diet or to a minimum would be great. All those snack foods, again, getting those out. Certainly some of the diets, vegetarian, plant-based diets, you might have some carbs that come with the vegetables because that's where the protein is also. But those are definitely better than the processed carbs because the processed carbs get broken down so quickly and turned into so much energy. Making sure that we're not drinking soda because that with the high fructose corn syrup is just multiply bad on all different levels. It spikes your blood sugar, causes insulin resistance, and with the fructose actually helps to accelerate fatty liver. So keeping those sugary high fructose corn syrup drinks out is another thing we should avoid. But again, that's what we should avoid. But we should avoid trans fats, of course. We've heard about that. If you're going to get saturated fats, make sure they're coming from good sources, organic sources. Free range chickens. Beef that has been let out to roam in the pasture and that kind of thing, and not fed grains. So, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think at the base, it's all getting rid of the sugar, getting rid of the processed carbs, and eating some good fats like olive oil, and nuts, and avocado. All of that is great stuff. So, that's the dietary things. And what else can we do for mental sharpness? Exercising is great. Making sure you get out there and get some moderate intensive activity and maybe even, some weightlifting, things like dancing or we used to go to, before pre-COVID, we used to go to a class called Drums Alive, Sue and I did, where, anything you're doing where you have to cross the midline, you're engaging your brain in muscle movement and learning routines and that kind of thing. Any kind of activity like that is extremely helpful for maintaining mental sharpness. What else? Sleep. Sleep is so important. Many people, I didn't touch on this before, but if people are not sleeping well, especially people with sleep apnea, where number one, they don't have restful sleep, and number two, the oxygen levels to their brains could be going down during those apneic episodes. That results in a lot of brain fog for people also. So if you're waking up and you don't feel refreshed, if you feel like you're just dragging through the day, even though you feel like you've tried to get that 8-9 hours of sleep, even some of these people, but they're just not getting refreshing sleep, then you should see somebody to help you get checked for sleep apnea. And there there are different home study tests now, or people can do it on their Fitbit, check their oxygen level, but you should do something to see how your sleep is. A home sleep study test is probably a great first step for many people. But as I said, some people have technology that can tell them how their oxygen is at night. So, but even that doesn't tell the whole story, because your oxygen can be okay, but if you're waking up multiple times at night and waking up not refreshed, you're not getting down into that fully parasympathetic healing mode, and that can cause brain fog, as I was mentioning. And then stress. Stress is so can be damaging to the brain, to brain processes and that kind of thing. So finding ways to deal with that, whether it's meditation. There are many meditation apps nowadays. The one Sue and I particularly like is called Calm. I jokingly call it meditation for people who've never been able to meditate. I managed to get through 65 years being unable to establish a meditation practice, but since I found the Calm meditation app, I've been have a meditation practice now. Or you could do yoga or Tai Chi, whatever is can be help relieve your stress. Read a good book, get out in nature. All of that is so important for to help clear some of those toxic brain chemicals and reduce brain fog.
Going back to exercise, I was listening to this podcast once, and they were saying that neurologists' favorite exercise is running because it increases DNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which helps promote like plasticity in the brain and growth of new neurons. So that's incredibly important, obviously, exercising. And like you said, on the opposite side of it, stress can be extremely deleterious to your health. And I think another form of distraction can also be technology. I remember in our talk about Limitless, the book by Jim Quick, he outlines the 4 digital villains, which is digital deluge, digital dementia, digital deduction, and digital distraction. So I think also like in our increasingly technological mediums that we meet people in and we continue to work through, it's very easy to shift between different tabs or different windows and not really taking the time to sit with something like a book or meditation. So as you were saying, all of those are incredibly important practices. So coming to Princeton Integrative Health, there's an HBOT or hyperbaric oxygen chamber that I know is going to be coming soon. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the connection between HBOT and improving focus and mental sharpness.
Yes, so, HBOT, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, in a hyperbaric chamber, helps mental sharpness in a few different ways. Number one, it increases oxygen to the brain, so any of our organs that receive extra oxygen function better. So it can help, even people with traumatic brain injuries, people who've had traumatic brain injuries years in the past. It can even help that. Again, it helps to, you mentioned neuroplasticity, the ability of neurons to, we always thought that when a nerve died, that was it. But now we know that many times neurons go dormant, and you can wake them up by giving them some extra oxygen, some extra fuel, if you will, to get them jump started. So it improves that neuroplasticity. And, it also, it decreases inflammation. So it's not just, it heals traumatic brain injuries, but it also helps people recover better from whatever insults or daily things that they're having, and improve mental sharpness. Some people are using hyperbaric oxygen therapy to heal from injuries, but others are using it for anti-aging, slowing down the aging process. and peak performance. Many NFL athletes, for example, have their own personal HBOT chambers at their houses so they can recover quicker from practices, they can recover quicker from those hard games. And much of that is physical, but there's also that mental aspect. So it can result in peak performance in many different areas for people.
Wow. It's exciting that it's going to be coming soon to PIH. Um, so any last thoughts or advice for people looking to improve their mental sharpness?
Yes, look at, make sure you're doing all the foundational things. Look at your diet, as we discussed. Look at your activity. Look at your sleep. Get help with that if you need to, or help in any of those areas. And stress management. Those are the foundational things that people need to look at. And then if you're still having problems, then probably, seek out the advice of a trusted doctor to help you get to what the root cause of your problems is. I guess we didn't even touch on hormones. Hormones for some people, deficiencies of hormone, whether it's a woman entering menopause or a man entering andropause, if you will. Those lower testosterone levels that occur as we age can be other causes of brain fog, or sometimes people are hypothyroid and do not realize it, and the only way to find that out is to see someone and get some thyroid blood tests. So hormones are another big aspect that can cause brain fog that I didn't touch on before.
And also, it's coming to me now, so mineral deficiencies,
Right,
iron,
nutrient deficiencies.
yeah,
Yep,
zinc.
absolutely. Yep.
Um, there was actually this study published that 70% of children with ADHD are zinc deficient. But
Wow.
obviously it could be with other important vitamins and minerals like vitamin D as well and B12. But thank you for joining me on this talk. What if you could improve your focus and mental sharpness? We'll be back here next week with a new topic. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Dr. Vinny.
Welcome, Kayla.